Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at some of the funniest, sweetest, and most memorable Ross and Ben moments from Friends. From Ross freaking out about becoming a father to hilarious parenting disasters and heartwarming family memories, these scenes show why Ross's journey as a dad is one of the most underrated storylines in the entire series. Let's jump right in. One of the first great Ross dad moments happens before Ben is even born. Ross is desperately trying not to learn the baby's gender while everyone around him already seems to know. Of course, keeping a secret in the Friends universe is practically impossible. The comedy comes from watching Ross struggle to avoid information while every person in the room accidentally drops clues. Then comes the hilarious moment when Ross finally realizes he's having a son. His excitement immediately takes over, and suddenly he's imagining football games, father-son adventures, and everything else that comes with being a dad. But what makes the scene special is that underneath all the jokes, Ross is genuinely scared. He admits he's not sure he's ready to be a father. It's a very relatable moment that many first-time parents can probably understand. One of the most touching scenes comes when Ross talks to his father about becoming a parent. Ross asks when his dad first felt like a father, and the story he tells is surprisingly emotional. His dad remembers holding baby Ross for the first time and feeling an instant connection. It's a simple scene, but it gives Ross exactly what he needs. Reassurance that becoming a parent isn't about having all the answers right away. Sometimes those feelings develop naturally. And then Ben finally arrives. The hospital episode gives us a perfect mix of emotion and comedy. Ross is overwhelmed with happiness when he first sees his son. At the same time, Joey and Chandler somehow manage to get trapped in a janitor's closet, proving that even the birth of a child can't stop Friends from being ridiculous. Once Ben is born, Ross immediately becomes the proudest dad in the world. He watches every little thing Ben does as if it's the most incredible achievement in human history. And honestly, that's pretty adorable. Of course, being a parent isn't always easy. One of the funniest storylines involves Ross and Susan accidentally losing track of which baby is actually Ben. After noticing that two babies look nearly identical, panic quickly takes over. The solution: flipping a coin. Yes, these grown adults actually consider using a coin toss to identify a baby. It's one of those classic Friends moments where the situation becomes so absurd that you can't stop laughing. As Ben gets older, Ross starts worrying about all kinds of things, especially when Ben becomes attached to a Barbie doll. Ross immediately jumps to conclusions and starts trying to replace the doll with trucks, soldiers, and dinosaurs. The humor comes from Ross being completely unable to understand why this matters so much to him. Then the conversation takes an unexpected turn when Monica reveals that Ross himself used to dress up in girls' clothes as a child and even had a nickname. Watching Ross desperately try to deny it while everyone remembers the details is comedy gold. Another unforgettable moment is Ross's attempt to teach Ben about Hanukkah. When Ben becomes excited about Santa Claus, Ross worries that his son isn't learning enough about his Jewish heritage. Unfortunately, Ross waits until the last minute to find a costume and ends up becoming the legendary Holiday Armadillo. The costume looks absolutely ridiculous, but that's exactly why the episode works so well. Ross is trying his best to create a meaningful holiday memory, and even though everything goes wrong, his effort shows how much he cares about his son. The Holiday Armadillo remains one of the most iconic and beloved Ross moments in the entire series. Years later, we get another major chapter in Ross's parenting journey when Rachel becomes pregnant with Emma. Ross's reaction is unforgettable. Instead of focusing on the pregnancy itself, he immediately becomes angry at the effectiveness rate of condoms. His outrage as a consumer is one of the funniest overreactions in Friends history. But once Emma arrives, we see a softer side of Ross again. The hospital scenes after Emma's birth are full of warmth, excitement, and emotional moments. Ross is completely in love with his daughter from the very beginning. One particularly sweet moment happens when Rachel struggles to choose a name for the baby. After considering several options, Monica reveals the name she always wanted for her future daughter, Emma. Rachel instantly knows it's perfect. It's a beautiful moment that shows how close this group has become after all these years. As Emma grows older, Ross becomes just as obsessed with every tiny milestone as he was with Ben. Whether it's arguing about Emma's first word or recording birthday messages for the future, Ross treats every parenting moment as something special. And honestly, that's what makes Ross such a great character. Yes, he's awkward. Yes, he's overly dramatic. And yes, he panics about almost everything. But underneath all of that, Ross genuinely loves his children more than anything. That's why these episodes work so well. The comedy is hilarious, but the heart behind it makes the moments memorable. From Ben's birth to the Holiday Armadillo, from Barbie dolls to Emma's first milestones, Ross's parenting journey gave us some of the funniest and sweetest moments in Friends history. And that's exactly why fans still love revisiting these episodes today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review and commentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know your favorite Ross and Ben moment in the comments below. See you in the next video.